The lookout. The start of a fall. Imagine a dark and rainy night. The streets are empty, with leaves rustling under your feet. A dim light shines from a small bank. Inside, a tired young man with a worried look is cleaning the floor. This is Chris, a forgotten hero whose life was stolen. Chris used to be a star hockey player in high school with a promising future. But one moment, one mistake, a bad accident changed everything. His memory broke apart, his dreams vanished, and now he's just a shadow of who he used to be.
For your tenderness.
But is this the end of his story? Is Chris stuck regretting the past forever? Or is there still hope for him to come back, get revenge, and find himself again? In today's episode of Treasure Within, we're exploring the suspenseful movie, The Lookout. It's more than just a crime story. It's a deep look at emotional pain, the search for who you are, and how strong people can be when things get tough. Can Chris find the missing pieces of his memory? Will he be able to stop the robber's evil plan? And most importantly, can he become his true self again? Join me as we go deep inside Chris's mind, discovering the hidden secrets of this thoughtful film. You'll see the challenges of memory loss, being tricked, and being a hero.
Dear, so close, baby.
Happy laughter filled the car. Chris, a lively young man, enjoying being young, is driving with his girlfriend and friends on a road outside town. The scene is pretty. Fireflies light up the sky like stars, and he turns off the headlights to impress his girlfriend. A crash with a combine harvester becomes a terrible blow. It not only destroys the car, but also turns Chris's life upside down. When he wakes up, he's lost something important. His memory, pieces of the past, are scattered in his mind like a puzzle. Every day he takes notes, trying to put the pieces together and live a somewhat normal life. Chris now works as a cleaner at a small bank. He wants to escape this boring, tiring job and get a better position, like being a teller. But he's always turned down. His memory problems cast a dark shadow over his future. His only friend and supporter is Louis, his blind roommate. Unlike Chris, Louis hasn't given in to his blindness. He's strong and embraces life. With his humor and kindness, he tries to save Chris from falling into despair. Thanksgiving night is a chance for Chris to see his family. A controlling father, a worried mother, and a sister whose married life leaves her little time to support her brother. The pitying looks from his family make Chris angry and push him away. In a cozy cafe, Chris's life changes. Gary Spargo, a friendly and mysterious man, becomes his friend. Gary's sympathy and understanding attract Chris, and he even helps him meet a beautiful woman named Lovely. But this happiness doesn't last. Gary takes off his mask, revealing his bad intentions. He plans to rob the bank where Chris works. Chris is caught between right and wrong. Having trusted Gary, he can't refuse the tempting offer. Reluctantly and nervously, Chris agrees to help Gary, but he regrets it when there's no way back. He's unwillingly pulled into a dangerous game. The regular visits of a police officer put the robbers' plan at risk. During a violent fight, the officer is killed, and Chris, scared, runs away with a bag of money. Gary, wounded, and his friends chase Chris through the city. What will Chris do? Run away and feel guilty, or face the robbers and fight to save himself and others?
Psychological analysis of the film. The Lookout is more than just a crime movie. It's a deep look at the emotional pain caused by trauma, thinking problems, and the search for identity. Chris Pratt, as a car accident victim, is like people who face many challenges with their memory, focus, decisions, and emotions after a difficult event. Brain injury and cognitive problems. The car accident seriously damages Chris's brain, causing cognitive problems. He struggles with memory loss, forgetfulness, trouble focusing, and bad judgment. These problems disrupt his daily life, making simple tasks difficult. Chris's note-taking is an attempt to make up for his thinking problems and stay independent. Trauma and PTSD. The car accident is a traumatic experience for Chris. He gets hurt and sees others get hurt or die. This can lead to post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Symptoms of PTSD can include nightmares, flashbacks, avoiding things that remind him of the accident, and getting angry easily. Chris's loneliness and despair may be caused by PTSD symptoms. Identity and feeling lost. Before the accident, Chris was a promising hockey star. But after the accident, he loses who he was. He can no longer play sports, study, or find a good job. This makes him feel lost. He feels worthless and doesn't know his purpose in life. Meeting Gary Spargo gives Chris a chance to create a new identity for himself, to prove that he can still be valuable and useful. Being tricked and vulnerable. Brain damage and thinking problems make Chris easily tricked and taken advantage of. He has trouble knowing who to trust. Gary Spargo uses this to his advantage, pulling him into a dangerous plan. Chris easily falls for Gary's tricks because he needs to be accepted and belong. Friendship and support. Lewis, Chris's blind roommate, provides important support. With his humor and kindness, Lewis tries to pull Chris out of isolation and despair. He reminds Chris that, despite his problems, he is still valuable and can have a good life. Lewis's support helps Chris handle life's challenges and stay hopeful. Taking responsibility and making things right. Eventually, Chris realizes he's been tricked and is involved in a serious crime. He decides to fight the robbers and save the bank to make up for his mistake. This shows Chris growing and changing. By taking responsibility for his actions, he tries to create a new identity and become a hero. There are other psychological points to consider. How family affects you. How Chris's family treats him after the accident greatly affects his recovery. Pitying looks or too much support can make him feel worthless and dependent. On the other hand, if they don't understand his situation and expect too much, it can cause stress. Healthy communication means empathy, encouraging independence, and accepting his limitations, which helps Chris adapt and regain confidence. Role of work. The film doesn't show much of Chris's therapy, but we see him getting help. Cognitive therapy can help Chris improve his thinking skills and learn to manage his memory problems. Therapy, especially trauma-focused therapy, can help him process painful memories and reduce PTSD symptoms. Sometimes, medication is needed for depression and anxiety. Role of work. Chris's job as a cleaner, while not ideal, helps him feel useful and make money. Purposeful activities like learning new skills or joining groups can improve his self-esteem and sense of belonging. Chris's attempt to become a teller shows he wants to improve. Hope. The Lookout gives people hope by showing Chris overcoming his problems and becoming a hero. The film shows that even when things are bad, you can start over and achieve your goals. Being resilient and bouncing back from stress is important for Chris. He uses his strengths, gets social support, and accepts his new situation to overcome his problems and live a meaningful life. By exploring these psychological issues, The Lookout helps people understand brain injuries, trauma, and thinking problems. It also gives people with these issues hope and motivation to improve their lives.
Conclusion. The Lookout is a touching story about falling, being saved, and the strength of the human spirit. Chris Pratt, having lost his memory and former identity, shows how people face many challenges after a traumatic event, but he refuses to give up, fighting to reclaim his true self. The main message is hope, that even in the darkest times, you can find a light and overcome problems by using your strengths. Chris reminds us that our identity isn't just about our past. It can be redefined at any moment. The Lookout is a movie worth watching and thinking about. It makes us think about emotional pain, the importance of social support, and the strength of people. Dear Treasure Within listeners, I hope you enjoyed this episode and our look at The Lookout. Finally, here's Chris Pratt's monologue from the end of the film.
I started skating again. I'm not as good as I used to be, but I'm okay. What happened that night? On Loan Group 24 is a part of me now. I just hope that one day Kelly will be ready to see me again. And I can finally tell her what I've only been able to say in my dreams. Until then, all I can do is wake up, take a shower with soap, and try to forgive myself. And if I can do that, maybe others will forgive me too. I don't know if that will happen. I guess I'll just have to work backwards from there.
Now it's your turn. What do you think is the most important message of this film? Have you had a similar experience to Chris? What can we learn from his life? Please share your thoughts and experiences with us. We want to hear from you. Thanks for listening. By following the treasure within, you can explore the world of psychology and self-awareness, making your life richer and more meaningful. See you next time.